Hey my good friend Sam Haymart with Test Driven TV. It occurred to me the other day that we haven't done a Mow Down in a while, and that's where I take an unscripted look at some of our comments and questions, some of the more interesting ones, roast them, toast them, and mow them down. Alright, so this is always unscripted and we just sort of roll through these. I actually print these out right here and I also put them up on the screen so you can see that they really do exist, because sometimes these comments can be unbelievable, but today's comments mostly pretty regular stuff. Now the first one is on a video I did actually a little over a year ago on a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter 4x4. This was a crazy van, big huge diesel tall van that had four-wheel drive. It was lifted and they sell these things, it's factory stock. It was at an event down in Texas called the Truck Rodeo, where we had prescribed routes. We drive these vehicles and test a variety of different trucks and SUVs and things like that. And the comment, which comes from Mimas here, why did you do a video on a 4x4 when you didn't take it off-road? Show what it can do in the sand, the mud, over rough terrain, up steep dirt hills. It's like test driving a high-end sports car in rush hour traffic, sorry, I can't read. Sorry. Bad review, he said. Well, look, I agree that I really wish I could have done all that, but as I just said, a lot of times when we have these really structured events, we just get to go where they tell us we can go. Now, this very van, I will tell you, in the first day of that event, they actually had it going a very steep rock hill, a very challenging one, such that the top of this van was scraping trees and all sorts of stuff. It was a pretty dramatic thing, and I really wish I could have at least gotten footage of that to show it to y'all. But I will point out that that's why that video was called a quick drive, because quick drives are usually these quick little things that we get to do that we don't really have a lot of control over. So, you know, I apologize I didn't take it out on the Rubicon in California, but Mercedes would never give anybody a vehicle like that to do exactly that with. I will point out that if you search out there, they actually did have a launch event at their factory where they did do some off-road with this van to show that it really can do it. And it can, but that's really not what the vehicle's meant for, by the way, because it's not a Jeep, it's a van meant for being able to go through snow and things like that. So there's that. Now the next question is on the 2016 Nissan Titan XD Cummins 5.0 V8 build. I got a chance last year to go to the Cummins factory where they actually build the engine for the Nissan Titan, and in so doing, we got a little bit of a history lesson in Columbus, Indiana on the factory, how it started, and this person commented something very good. It allows me to sort of give you a little bit of a show here. The inventor of Cummins is the king of motor swaps. He seriously invented it. Now, I don't know if he invented motor swaps, but I will tell you that he did a very interesting motor swap as part of trying to get his business started and really keep it going. And he actually put one of the first Cummins diesel car engines, truck engines, into a Cadillac. This is back during the Depression. And he did this because he had investors there in the town of Columbus, Indiana, where his factory was, that he was trying to keep his factory alive during the Depression. So he drove this vehicle over one day, nice Cadillac of the era, and took him for a ride in it to show him how a diesel car could actually be. And so I'm just going to let you see it here for a minute and see what it's all about. So he actually kept this car for quite a long time, and they did build others, but as you can see, it's a real diesel car, and yes, that is a motor swap. So thank you, Alex, for pointing that one out. Now, next comment is on the 2017 Chrysler Pacifica Touring, the test drive we did. I finally got to do a nice in-depth test drive on the new minivan. It was actually very popular here in the office. I was very impressed with it, surprisingly, because it's a Chrysler minivan. How impressed could you be? But they really did a good job on it, I think. In fact, that van made our I'd buy list. Even though I'm not looking for a minivan, if I were, that would probably be it. Well, Mountain Hobo says, I'm surprised there's no all-wheel drive version. Well, I am too, to be honest with you. And they could do it. And in talking with them, at least for this first rollout of this first van, they stuck with one wheelbase front-wheel drive, but they do have the hardware on the shelf to put all-wheel drive in this van if they want. So don't be surprised if, you know, they do live in Michigan, the Chrysler people, that they might see wisdom in that. So just stay tuned. They did tell me, just before I move on, they did tell me when I asked them about that, they did the old eye roll and well, you know, we're always thinking about extra things. That's usually what they do when you ask them about feature product they can't talk about. Next comment, 2017 Ford Raptor first ride. 2 weeks ago, I got to go for a ride in a Ford Raptor. A little bit of that right here.
So the shock's too great with this little drop off right here. Just catches it, no big deal. It's always power on demand in Baja. You can touch it and go at any time.
So after this ride, you know, it was fun, but I didn't get to drive it. And I'm glad to say that Duck Lee here says it'd be nice if Ford lets Sam take that out for a real test drive where he usually does in Arizona. I agree. I'd really love it, and I hope that we do get one here in our press fleet. Just next month, actually it's going to be in December, they're actually having the press launch for this vehicle out at Borrego in California. You're going to see a lot of test drives in early December of this new Raptor. I haven't got the invitation yet. Ford, I don't know. I doubt I'm getting the invitation to that one because it's going to be a pretty highly sought after drive, and usually on those things, the most highest tier people get invited to those. And as big as I think I am, and you might like who I am and what I do here, but the reality is there's a lot of bigger fish out there. So at the very least, I do expect to get that truck here in the local fleet at some point in the future. It might be 2019, but I should. Last question, 2017 Subaru Outback Limited 2.5 test drive. Just drove this car a couple weeks ago, and it was sort of a nice, refreshing test drive because, well, you know, I mean, I drive a lot of crossovers, and I like the fact that it's more of a car like wagon, a little lower to the ground, not quite as big and heavy and bulky, and it actually had the 4-cylinder, which I liked also because even though the 6 that's available in this is pretty good, this had really good fuel economy. But nevertheless, Ian says, stop calling this a wagon. Just admit it. It's an SUV. No, it's a wagon. It's not an SUV. And that's a good thing. All right. So Ian, don't feel like I'm beating down on your masculinity because your wagon is being called one. A wagon's a good thing. I like the Golf all-track that they just came out with, and I've driven it. In fact, I'll be doing a complete test drive on it in a couple of weeks. It's a wagon. It's not an SUV. The reason this is a wagon is because it's shorter than most SUVs. It's not as tall. If you took the lift kit off the suspension and if you took those big tall roof racks off the back, it wouldn't be any taller than an Audi Allroad or that Volkswagen Golf Sport Track because it's a wagon. Live with it. It's not a bad thing. It's not a challenge to any kind of social status out there. It's really actually a plus. I wish there were more wagons on the market. So there. Now this was sort of a short, quick mow down this month and this year. Oh, we've done a few this year. Non-scripted. Anyway, what I want you to do is click on the link right here and subscribe to our YouTube channel because I've got a lot of big test drives coming out. I've done a lot of events this month that I haven't really been able to get any video pieces together on. Texas Truck Rodeo, Active Lifestyle Vehicle Awards right here in Phoenix. Test drove all kinds of cars, trucks, SUVs, and we've got a lot of stuff coming down the pike. And LA Auto Show is coming up just next month. A lot of news coming out there. So click on the link, stay tuned, and I'll see you on the next one.